Hello and welcome to the Southeast Iowa Union News Break. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. Here's the top stories for September 16th. County supervisors asked to see numbers for chip seal paving on a set of secondary roads south of Riverside. The roads 135th and 140th Street have been seeing renewed calls for improvements in light of a proposed subdivision in the area, but County Engineer Jacob Thorius said the money for paving wasn't there, necessitating contributions from nearby homeowners to get anything done in the next 5 years. While costs are not exact, Thorius said his office had estimations to work with. As of now, the office estimates 135th Street's total cost at $1.15 million. $880,000 of that is for the paving, and 140th Street's at $670,000. $370,000 of that is for paving, assuming the projects use concrete rather than another surface. The non-paving cost would be constant regardless of materials. If the county can get area homeowners to form assessment districts, those districts could pay anywhere from 50 to 100% of the cost to pave the streets, depending on how negotiations go. Alternatively, the county could bear the cost of grading only on Class A sections of the road, which would put it on the hook for about 10% of the project. Thorius also floated the idea of a 50-50 split in addition to level A grading. That math would work out to nearly a 48% share for the county. The county has previously used cost-sharing agreements for high-cost paving projects, most notably on a road to Premier 1, a Brighton business with heavy truck traffic. While that arrangement was funded largely by grant money, Thorius said the residential projects before the board were unlikely to draw third-party help. While the officials said that they were not sure if the county's obligation would be subject to interest payments, Board of Supervisors Chair Richard Young suggested adding the cost to homeowners' annual payments at the same rate as the county. Overall, Young said he favored the cost-sharing option and hoped residents in the area would agree. It would cost the homeowners about $236 a day if we paid nothing, talking about 135th Street. On 140th, it would be $199. That's minimal cost to have a paved road. If you ask me, that's one less coffee a day. The board plans to revisit the issue at its next regular meeting September 20th, hoping for some clarification on the possibility of paying interest in the price of chip-sealed pavement. The City of Washington Maintenance Construction Department will begin fire hydrant flushing on Monday, September 19th. Maintenance Construction Supervisor J.J. Bell said that he anticipates the flushing process to last 2 weeks. During the flushing process, residents may experience a loss of water pressure, discoloration, and rust. That was our top stories. It is now time for obituaries. Marilyn E. Hilt of Mount Pleasant passed away on September 14th at the age of 70. Arrangements are pending at the Kimsey Funeral Home of Mount Pleasant. Dolores Teresa Mickelson of West Point passed away on September 14th at the age of 78. Schmidt's Funeral Home of West Point is assisting with arrangements. Ruth L. Wise of Mount Pleasant passed away on September 13th at the age of 96. Funeral services will be held on Tuesday, September 20th at 10:30 a.m. at the Trenton Missionary Church. Murphy Funeral Home of Mount Pleasant is caring for her arrangements. Ronald D. Kaufman of Wellman passed away on September 13th at the age of 80. Funeral services will be held at 10:30 a.m. September 19th at the United Presbyterian Church, and Jones Indian Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Adela L. Wells of Washington passed away on September 14th at the age of 97. Celebration of Life will be held at 11 a.m. September 20th at the Beatty Funeral Home in Washington. Beatty Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we will have the weather and sports.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
Welcome back to the Southeast Iowa Union News Break. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. We have a football preview coming up, but first, the weather.
The weather is brought to you by Jacqueline Areola, LLC.
Come visit Jackie in her new location downtown. She is ready to serve Washington and the surrounding community. Today it has been partly cloudy with a high of 86 and a low of 66. This weekend we can expect some thunderstorms. Saturday there is a 35% chance for storms in the morning with a high of 81. On Sunday there is a 50% chance of rain in the morning with a high of 86. We will start the work week with some much improved weather. On Monday it will be mostly sunny with a high of 86. Tuesday there will be more sun and be warmer with temperatures getting up into the 90s again. We're kind of in that second summer that we have here in the Midwest. That was the weather. It is now time for sports.
Sports, brought to you by Fairway.
Things didn't go as planned for Washington on football field last week as the Demons suffered their first loss of the season from the hands of Clear Creek Amana. The good news for Washington, who is 2-1 on the season, is there's a lot of football left to be played and they will get a chance to hand Fort Madison its first loss of the season come Friday night on the road. Despite the 31-6 loss to the Clippers last week, it's been an all-around great start of the season for Washington. The Demons held off Burlington in week 1 21-14 and then won big against Mount Pleasant 54-20 in week 2. As for Fort Madison, the Bloodhounds have yet to be beaten. While they haven't put up big numbers in their first 3 games, the Bloodhounds have pulled out 3 victories. Fort Madison down to Keokuk 22-13 in its opening game, then followed that up with a victory over West Burlington 17-6 and the field goal win against Fairfield on the road 16-13. There's a plethora of key players that will be difference makers for each side come Friday night. Leading the Demons on the offensive end will be Ethan Patterson. So far this season, Patterson has completed 16 passes for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. In the rushing department, Taven Stewart leads the way. Stewart has carried the ball 53 times for 351 yards and 7 touchdowns. Patterson has also done some damage on the ground, rushing 32 times for 198 yards. Jude Brown rounds out the Demon rushing attack with 90 yards and 1 touchdown, 17 carries. Patterson's main target is Brown. Brown has a team-high 7 receptions thus far, tallying 98 yards and a touchdown. Luke Beanblossom, Stewart, and Vandermolen all have 3 receptions on the year and a touchdown. The 3 all have under 50 yards receiving. Defensively, James Strabala has accumulated the most tackles. Strabala has 26.5 total tackles, which includes 14 solo and 2 tackles for a loss. Deshaun Westfall Edwards follows with 21.5 tackles, tallying 15 solo. Edwards also has been in the opposition's backfield a lot so far, with 3 sacks and 7 tackles for a loss included. As of late, the Demons have had the Bloodhounds number, winning 9 of the last 10 meetings. Fort Madison edged Washington last season, 23-19. Friday night's game is set to begin at 7:30 at Fort Madison High School. That is the news for Washington, Iowa, and the surrounding community today. I've been your host, Nick Steffens. This is the Southeast Iowa Union News Break, and I will see you next time.